this and demands a complete spinal activation in all directions. And this again is the power with which we are all endowed. Control your hips. Make these ovals with your hips. Then make them with your shoulders. Then make them with your cervical vertebrae. Then make them with your eyes. That's the last point. You think about toes, different spots of your feet. All the while you're trying to push your sternum, you're trying to push your solar plexus away from your spine. That's where you're focusing on your breath. That's why all of the Christian imagery that you see, Christ is like this. He's opening up his solar plexus. Well, whenever you're dismissive of the sources of authority, religious, governmental, teacher, whenever you're suspicious of all of that, because the pace of change is so fast that they don't have complete credibility, because the religion isn't completely correct, I presumed that it wasn't worth my time. I presumed that the government wasn't something that was worth my time because it wasn't perfect. And that's the danger of the natural, the innate perfectionist within all of us. There's an extreme sadist. There's an extreme perfectionist. There's an extreme ethicist. I just saw something about the effect and the power of dips. And how they are like a preacher curl in their ability to counterbalance the imbalances of daily life. And I think any exercise can be that. If the injunction is made to be cognizant of the length of your spine and your limitations, that this daily training, this process of maintaining muscle memory, muscle flexion, a gentle preparation for living, a gentle preparation in conjunction with this extreme violent lifts and these extreme expressions of strength and ferocity. Have both extremes no matter what sport you play. I think it can make you even greater than you are. Maybe you're doing this in different ways and you're not aware of it. Being aware of it changes it. It makes it better. It makes you better because your awareness, your sense of self-knowledge is being expanded. You're flowing further along that creek that turned into a tributary that's taken you to the ocean. And once you're in the ocean, then it's going to feel right. Then it's going to feel most right. The water feels good. The water can baptize you. The water can wash you. What is baptism? It's getting washed. It's getting the filth. It's getting the soil. It's getting the bacteria, and it's getting the viruses. It's getting, whatever it is that possesses the capacity for causing you harm, the germs, all of the things that, when they're in a large enough dose that they overwhelm your defenses, first line, second line. Maybe your body doesn't have the strength because you haven't eaten flesh, you haven't eaten energy-dense food. Maybe you can't fight it off. Then you die, and the tribe covers you. Moves on. They revere you. They have some ceremonies because it must feel terrible to move on from a parent. I think that you too would come up with some animist approaches to maintaining a connection, to sustaining their memory. If only in you, if only biologically, you as their legacy or you as their friend. Your knee's a little to the out, it's a little to the in. Your hand's a little bit underneath, there's a little bit of friction. Then you're going back and you're getting a little bit more. All the while, my spine is asymmetrically long. Because I'm using my body to expand it. If this leg is up, then my shoulder has got to move. My hand has got to move. Something else needs to come up or go down. It needs to be in some type of dimensional relationship. Same thing with my feet. Same thing with my knees. Same thing with all of the parts of my body that can be manipulated. And this is what you do whenever, think about 100,000 years ago. We were hunting with spears. We were hunting with little itty bitty bows. What would we have used for the string? How did we come up with the poisons? You know? Oh, and if you want to do a bench press while still... Be methodical. Now, see, I want to. And the throne is still standing. There's a little bit of anxiety that you have to confront. You're producing a little bit of cortisol. Maybe it's going to increase your bench when you're on something that's stable. Think about that possibility, coach. There are coaches who work with players, but there are also coaches who work on themselves. And that's what I am. I am a self-improvement coach. I am the first life coach that everyone needs. Even the life coaches, even the presidents, even the CEOs. Uh, I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe this is a delusional concept. But maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need somebody who has less brain, who has less cortical tissue, to synthesize the solution. Is less more? Maybe it is in this respect. Maybe it is in the way that it intensifies the belief and the recognition of this need for a balance between the down and the up, the in and the out, the closed and the open. But it's all my body. That's the divine element. That's the divine design. That's the divine evolution. That's the divine refinement. Discover your body laterally, in these different shoulder positions, in these different elbow positions, in these different carpal positions, and slowly bring them back. Change your gaze, close your eyes, focus here with your hands in front, or put some type of a shield on. Put a welding mask on, put a football helmet on, go up to a wall or something, and let that kind of be a regulatory structure that will communicate to you by touch when you have deviated from your desired position of lateral alignment. You see this? I can be punchy, and that's natural. Everybody can push out their stomach some, but nobody can do it as much as I can when it's viewed relative to the chest. Now you might be bigger, you might have, a lot of, size, but relative to your size, I think it's a terrible thing to be best in the world at. It's one of the worst things, because it means that I've handicapped the development of my cardiovascular system. I don't know about more than anyone else, but I was in that class of the bell curve for athleticism, where you have extremely morbidly obese people at one end, and then the curve is shifting. More and more of us are becoming more and more inactive, and that's resulting in the increasing population, the increasing size of this bell curve. Don't we want it to become an exponential curve? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to shove that wave up against that wall. That's what the uthrones are trying to do. Oh, that wave's coming to me. The tsunami's coming to me. But I've got this thing on my shoulder, this postural way of facing it.